Yeah, I'd like to make an additional point as somebody who lives in a community who lost their water source through a chemical spill for many weeks. There's a couple things beyond what happens to the destruction of the system. It becomes a very emotional response, and it can really grow because you begin to lose trust. Your authorities, the authorities, health authorities, and otherwise, unless they're crystal clear, and we've gone through this with the CDC because they were not in this case, begin to take on a greater role, and they have to be prepared for this too, whether it's a cyber attack or chemical spill or whatever. So if you are able to infiltrate successfully a cyber attack on one of your smaller systems, there might be people that would say, oh, well, that only serves 2,500 people. That doesn't really matter. But what matters is the lack of trust and the cascading effect that it has in every rural community of this could be me. And how do I know? And so that's why I think at every level that we need to make sure that the protections that we afford the larger systems are the same protections that we can provide for the smaller systems. And, I was also thinking, if, let's say, you have the same IT person or something, they get into a small system in Anstead, and then maybe that same IT system does Fayetteville, and then is there a way in, and then you're into a bigger system because you're into the whole IT system, so it's no longer Anstead who has, I don't know, 600, 700 people, and they're into a bigger thing. So I think there's a lot more connectivity here and a lot more emotional part of protecting our rural water systems than that we really got into today. I would identify also a gap. I think we need better data on how many attacks we have, because nobody really had the answer to that question. I think, how many, where are they occurring, how have they occurred? That's always going to be good for best practices to try to prevent. So those are my little commentaries. I'd like to thank all the rural water people who are in the audience today for coming. Senators who wish to submit written questions, and we did hear at least from Senator Whitehouse and Senator Rochester, they are going to want to submit questions, and maybe Senator Rickett. They have until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, February 18th, to submit their questions. The witness responses to these questions are back to the committee no later than 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March the 4th, and will be submitted for the record. With that, this hearing is adjourned. Thank you all very much. It was very interesting.